In the spring of 2026, we did a Viking British Isles Explorer cruise. We hit ports in London, Dover, Liverpool, Dublin, Belfast, Holyhead, Ullapool, the Orkney Islands, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, the Shetland Islands, and ending in Bergen, Norway. The first place we went to on the Orkney Islands is the 5,000-year-old Viking settlement ruin. While the Viking ruins themselves are younger, Orkney is home to older Neolithic monuments that predate the pyramids. Sites like the stone village of Skara Brea and the tomb of Mezau were constructed around 31 to 3200 BC, making them hundreds of years older than the Egyptian pyramids. This is a replica of one of the houses. The reconstructions let you see the passageways that people used to move between rooms or whole dwellings so that they didn't have to venture outside. Skara Brea was built in two main phases. Little is known about the first phase because you would have to destroy the current phase's ruins to get to them. Furniture, and I use that term very liberally, was made from local flagstone which was abundant and easy to shape. Each house had a stone or wooden slab serving as a door. They could be secured from inside by a wooden or a whalebone bar, providing some security and privacy. There are some structures that do not seem to be residences, but central hearth or workshop areas. The walls appear to be slightly thicker in those houses. The buildings and entrance passages were set into a mound of domestic refuse, consisting of decomposed food waste, shells, and bones. It may have come from a nearby earlier settlement, and it helped with stability and insulation. The houses seem to have a similar rectangular plan with the hearth in the center and box beds on the sides. It was in 1850 that a violent storm crashed the Atlantic onto the shore and exposed the mound at Skara Brea. That caused the attention of the lord of the house, and he opened up one of the mounds and excavated material from the structures. The new lord inherited the estate in 1876, and he had the same interests in the past and actually converted a dining room in the house to display some of the items and excavations. In 1924, another storm started to damage the site, but this time there was a movement to protect the site by the Commission of Works. By 1928, this site was really taken seriously, and the work began revealing what we see today. Skara Brea was likely abandoned gradually around 2500 BC due to a combination of shifting climate, environmental hazards like encroaching sand and coastal erosions, and broader social changes as communities shifted towards individual farmsteads. Centuries ago, many Viking settlements, longhouses, were built at a safe distance from the shoreline from what we see today. However, the combination of geographical land shifts, rising sea levels, and increasingly severe winter storms means that many of these ancient ruins are now precariously close to and actually actively falling into the water. The Skaiil House is an impressive 17th century mansion and is situated near to the site of Skara Brea. The lands were in use from Neolithic times. Various finds of Bronze and Iron Age show continuing use. The name Skaiil, if I'm saying that correctly, derives from the Old Norse word for hall. The names of all the surrounding farms are also derived from that language, and it is presumed that the lands have been permanently settled for over 1,000 years. After the execution of Patrick Stewart, nothing to do with the Star Trek Enterprise, he was the second Earl of Orkney, for treason in 1615, the lands were given to the Bishop of Orkney. In 1620, Bishop George Graham constructed a simple manor house, the first part of what is now Skaiil House. His son became the lord of the estate, and the property was from that time passed down to succeeding lords. Over the years, the building was expanded. In 1997, after 6 years of restoration work, the house was open to the public. It could be rented as a holiday home or for receptions and events. Many owners of the house served in the British military, which explains the historical uniforms, swords, and weapons on display. The Graham Lords, the original family, were closely related to two major Scottish military commanders of the 17th century. Later lords fought in the World Wars and various global conflicts of the 19th and 20th centuries. The 12th Lord, Major Malcolm McRae, also served in the British military. James Graham, the first Marquis of Montrose, fought for King Charles I in the Civil War. John Graham rallied Highland clans for the Jacobite cause and was killed at the Battle of Killiecrankie. Although he was never punished by the loss of his lands and titles during his lifetime, and he was even rewarded by King James VII, his titles were posthumously lost by his heirs. Graham's brother, David Graham, then took up the title as the 3rd Viscount, but it was officially forfeited by an Act of Parliament in 1690 due to the family's That's Walter Scarth. He's 14 years old and was killed in a riding accident. Skaiil House is apparently haunted by several spirits, including the ghost of Ubi. He was a local hermit remembered for his obsessive, lifelong mission of piling stones into the nearby Skaiil Loch by rowboat to build a small artificial island. They don't ever say what really happened to him, though. It's easy to see that this house and family had a long and varied history.